Coming up on Mountain News this morning, after nearly a decade at the helm of the Republican Party in the Senate, Mitch McConnell is passing the torch. And there was another bus accident in Letcher County on the same road as the one in January.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:30 on Thursday, February 29th. Now let's send it over to meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast this morning.
Hi there, Olivia. We're looking at a few clouds in the area this morning, but it's a much drier morning when you compare it to yesterday. We had the areas of rain and even, of course, some of the thunderstorms that were on the strong side. Other than a few clouds, you can see here kind of glowing off the city lights. Most areas are partly cloudy to mostly clear. It's a little colder this morning, though, for sure. You step outside and you feel 20-degree weather to only around 30 there in Harlan, and Monticello sitting at 30. Wise, you're waking up the day at 23 degrees, and Logan into the upper 20s. So definitely feel a little chillier in the area this morning, and we're talking about some wind chills. Logan, your wind chill down to 18, 17 in Wise. So cover up when you head outside this morning. It definitely feels cold. But the rain is done, and at least we'll see the sunshine. Satellite radar shows lots of clear skies here through the overnight as the clouds have faded away. Just a little cloudiness kind of cruising along in through parts of Tennessee. We will see an increase in clouds later this afternoon and a lot of rain to our southwest. That moves in for tomorrow. Forecast for today, temps warm up through the 20s and 30s this morning, on up into the 40s for later on this afternoon. We'll look at those rain chances, Olivia, here coming up.
All right, Mace, thank you. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announces he's stepping down from his leadership role. WYMT's Washington correspondent Ryan Henson has more on his message from the Senate floor yesterday.
Kentucky's longest-serving senator announces he's scaling back his responsibilities. Mitch McConnell has been a senator since 1985 and in a leadership role since '07. On the Senate floor, McConnell says he will let the next generation of leadership take over.
Father Time remains undefeated. I'm no longer the young man sitting in the back, hoping colleagues would remember my name. One of life's most underappreciated talents is to know when it's time to move on to life's next chapter.
The senator is being sent out with the well wishes of his fellow Kentuckians. Congressman Andy Barr released a statement on X calling McConnell an extraordinary leader. Across the aisle, the lone Democratic member of the Bluegrass States delegation, Representative Morgan McGarvey, says despite disagreeing with McConnell on almost every topic, he appreciates the longtime politician's public service and recent bipartisan efforts. McConnell isn't leaving the leadership until November. He says he plans to serve out his current Senate term, which ends in January 2027. George Washington University professor Todd Belt says the Kentucky politician is taking a step back at a pivotal point for conservatives.
Well, we know he's had some really significant health issues. He's also stepping down at a time where it's a real critical issue for the Republicans to try to get some of these budget deals passed. And he, more than anybody else in the Senate, has had the ability to bring on the other members of the conference to get some compromises done.
I always imagined a moment when I had total clarity and peace about the sunset of my work. A moment when I'm certain I have helped preserve the ideals I so strongly believe.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Ryan Henson.
Congressman Hal Rogers praised Senator McConnell yesterday. He praised him yesterday, saying in part, quote, "Kentucky has a storied history of extraordinary leadership, and my good friend Republican leader Mitch McConnell has added to a wealth of victories and that legacy as a champion for our Commonwealth and this great nation." Senator Rand Paul also released a statement that simply said, quote, "I'd like to congratulate Senator McConnell on his long tenure." Another high-profile Kentuckian in Washington is House Oversight Chairman James Comer, who commented as Hunter Biden was about to give a closed-door deposition. The president's son agreed to the deposition under arrangements that apparently include a release of the transcript to prevent any selective leaks. Congressional probes have focused on Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings.
Our committees have unearthed substantial evidence of President Biden and his family's corruption. The Bidens created 20 shell companies, most of which were created when Joe Biden was vice president. The American people see the corruption, but unfortunately many in the corporate media and Democrats seek to cover up for the Bidens.
In remarks before his testimony, Hunter Biden said he did not involve his father in his business dealings. In Harlan County, a man is facing charges after a standoff with police. It happened Tuesday night when Harlan County Sheriff's deputies came to a home to serve a warrant to 31-year-old Jonathan Mitchell. Police say Mitchell barricaded himself inside the home after it was deemed too safe to enter. Police say Mitchell was removed from the home and was arrested. Mitchell was taken to the Harlan County Detention Center. And police in Laurel County are asking for help finding 2 vehicles that were stolen. Here's an image of them. Officials with the sheriff's office say they are pewter-colored Chevy Silverado and a green Kawasaki Ninja. Officials say the vehicles were stolen about 10 miles from London Wednesday night. If you have any information about the case, contact the sheriff's office at 606-864-6600. And we have an update following an investigation at a Wolf County Dairy Queen. Employees say a manager forced them to eat ice cream contaminated with cleaning solution. We've received a response from the franchise owner, Steve Cottle. He says the manager is no longer an employee and the safety of crew members is their top priority. He said they are fully cooperating with law enforcement. Less than 8 weeks after an Arley Boggs Elementary school bus crashed into a coal truck and flipped into a creek, a bus on the same route Wednesday morning with some of the same students had another close call. WYMT's Madison Carmouche has more on what's next for students and parents.
After students at Arley Boggs gave thanks to first responders and received praise from the governor for their resilience, it happened again.
Twice in a little less than 2 months is tough for our students, tough for our community, and I know our parents must be worried.
9 of the same students were on the bus Wednesday morning when the driver avoided hitting a coal truck and ended up in a ditch.
We have about 18 of them that are riding again, and then this morning we had another incident where the majority of the students on that bus were on the bus on January 12th.
Students like Amelia and Dylan still worry when they see big trucks on the road.
Yeah. If they're going fast, yes.
It makes me sick.
Dylan had to get 12 stitches in his face after the crash on January 12th.
I think glass cut me, but I'm not sure. I didn't know I was cut until my cousins was telling me, you need to put pressure on that, you're bleeding bad.
Terry says after the first crash, the district got all buses equipped with citizen band radio to be able to communicate with trucks. But parents wonder, is that enough?
There's a lot of people that think the buses don't have radios, and today they had a radio, and this still happens. So.
Bus driver and principal Freddie Terry says a local mining company has already committed to not run coal trucks during bus routes.
Now that doesn't affect our entire bus run, but it does take care of 4 or 5 miles of our route, and that is a first step, and that's a positive step.
Terry hopes this happening again so soon leads to changes sooner rather than later. In Letcher County, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
Kentucky's labor laws were debated in a state house panel Wednesday afternoon. Some believe Kentucky's laws regarding wages and how they are earned are outdated. If House Bill 500 is passed, some believe it will take away meal breaks and cut wages. Others say employers are asking for this to help their operations. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what the bill will do and what opponents fear will happen if passed.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Representative Philip Pratt says Kentucky's current laws about wages, overtime, and meal breaks need an update.
Right now, Kentucky law says you have to give someone a 30-minute lunch break, but even if they're unpaid, you can require them to sit at their desk, still do their job.
Representative Pratt says House Bill 500 simply takes away the meal break requirement for employers. There's also language about company vehicles.
It basically says if you're a part-time worker, and again, it does several things, is the fact that you will not get paid to drive a company vehicle to and from your house, to and from work.
Representative Pratt says that a lot of companies contacted him wanting changes to be made. He says they asked to remain anonymous, but he says simply Kentucky needs to be more in compliance with federal laws. But opponents fear the law will have some unintended consequences. They say Kentucky's current laws have been around for decades, and they simply protect workers.
It's a sea change to long-standing basic rights and dignities on the job that will harm practically all Kentucky workers.
The bill eliminates wage and hour protections for Kentucky workers, rest break laws, which has been in effect since 1958, mealtime break laws, which has been in effect since 1974, and seventh-day overtime, which has been in effect since 1942.
The bill passed the House Small Business and Information Technology Committee and will now go to the full House. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The bill sponsor says the bill still allows for people to collect overtime after they work 40 hours. A bill introduced by the House of Representatives could put an end to daylight saving time in Kentucky. The bill was introduced by Representative Stephen Doan. If it passes, the new law would take effect on November 1st and make March 10th the last time the state would spring forward. This would require the state to observe the standard time of the United States. And the Challenger Learning Center in Hazard hosted the Kentucky Valley Education Cooperative for its board meeting yesterday. Officials with the center say they were excited to show schools what they have to offer students. Superintendents had the chance to tour the center and learn about the programs and camps offered. The cooperative is made up of 27 school systems in the region.
Really what we want to do is just show off what we do. We have our simulated space missions here. We have this interactive science center that we're standing in. We also do outreach, summer camp programs, and we have a robotics tournament that we host.
The career exploration that they have here for our students is unparalleled, and it is just, you know, hands-on, able to give that opportunity to our students that this is a career path.
The center also used this as an opportunity to celebrate its 25th anniversary. And when we return, Apple is giving up on its dream of joining the automotive industry.
Lots of sunshine across the area today after the clouds from yesterday. We'll look for the cold temps this morning to warm up into the 40s, and again with sun this afternoon. Full forecast in a few minutes.
Sydney with an outstanding offer and all that Ford has to offer on the Thornhill Motor Mile. I'm talking about 1.9% APR for 72 months on new 2023 Ford F-150 trucks. You heard right, 1.9% APR for 72 months. Thornhill has the truck to get you there.
Pikeville Medical Center. Together, we pray. Together, we rise.
Food. It's what makes our world go round. That's why there's an authentic butcher shop in every store where certified Angus beef is hand cut every day. nobody does food like Food City. This week, save on fresh family pack chicken breast tenders, $2.99 a pound. Super sweet honey crisp apples, $1.29 a pound. RC product.